The New Hampshire Food Alliance is a growing network of people working together to build a food system that is good for people, businesses, communities, and the environment. The Food Alliance connects people, ideas, and resources to enhance the good work already underway in the Granite State. By connecting with and learning from one another, amplifying and leveraging each other's work, and collaborating on common goals, we can have a greater impact than we can alone. In 2015, after spending 2 years building relationships and conducting listening sessions across the state, the Food Alliance launched the Farm, Fish, and Food Enterprise Viability Initiative. The Viability Initiative provides a common focus and agenda for the collaborative work of the Food Alliance. By supporting food enterprises, the entrepreneurial backbone of the food system, we can also address key issues related to food access, healthy communities, and natural resources. In 2016, the Viability Working Group set out to prioritize and refine the goals and approaches outlined in the Viability Initiative. This group also identified the key viability ingredients necessary for viable farm, fish, and food enterprises. In 2017, action teams formed to address the priority issues and actions identified by the Viability Working Group. Many Viability Working Group members stayed on to become chairs of these action teams, which met monthly throughout the year. We'd like to spend a few minutes sharing with you some of the important accomplishments of these teams. We thank the chairs and the team members for the time, effort, and energy they've put toward accomplishing our shared goals. The Education Action Team has focused on developing a grassroots education and marketing campaign to increase consumer demand for local food, while at the same time amplifying and connecting the existing education and outreach efforts already happening across the state. Over the past year, the group has made significant strides toward these goals by researching and connecting with marketers and organizers of local food campaigns across the region, defining the scope and phases of the campaign, and identifying target audiences. In addition, the team has worked to build communications infrastructure across the network to support the campaign once it is launched. In addition to promoting and sharing network partner events and resources, the team has launched a Food System Communicators and Marketers Facebook group and is organizing showings and panel discussions of the Last Crop documentary with network partners across the state. In the coming year, the education team will identify key shared messages that will help to communicate our common agenda to increase consumer demand for local food and raise awareness about New Hampshire's agricultural heritage. The team will also continue to strengthen network communications and is working in partnership with the Monadnock Farm and Community Coalition to make their signature Feast on This Food Film Festival a statewide event. The Market Development Team focused its efforts on enhancing the capacity of service providers to provide technical education and financial assistance to new and experienced farmers. To this end, the group conducted a survey and audit of technical assistance related to business development and created a resource directory of these services. They also conducted interviews and developed 5 case studies of innovative approaches to aggregation in a salute to New Hampshire foodpreneurs. This team also researched best practices related to funding viability programs in other states. Moving forward in 2018, the team will work in partnership with researchers at UNH to determine the feasibility of developing a food hub on the seacoast to improve market access for local producers and harvesters and to improve food access among vulnerable populations. All network partners who are currently involved in food hub work or interested in future development of food hubs are encouraged to get involved with this team. The Food Access Team is focused on improving access to local food for all people in New Hampshire. Improving access will help grow the overall market, a win-win for healthy consumers and food businesses. The team is divided into two groups, consumers and institutions. The consumer team has focused on increasing the number of households that purchase local food by expanding nutrition incentives through Granite State Market Match and other nutrition incentive programs, and increasing and supporting programs that teach New Hampshire residents how to access and prepare local foods. This team conducted 2 surveys to better understand the landscape of nutrition incentive and education programs, as well as interest in implementing fruit and vegetable prescription programs. They are working with Granite State Market Match and the Fair Food Network to collect data on pilot nutrition incentive programs in retail outlets, and some team members are collaborating on grants to fund work together. In the coming year, this team will develop a toolkit for groups interested in launching fruit and vegetable prescription programs in their communities, and will continue to monitor and support the development and expansion of nutrition incentive and education programs across the state. The Food Access Institution team is focused on building the capacity of institutions like hospitals and schools to access local food by developing templates and providing technical assistance. This team has developed a toolkit and resources to provide technical assistance and support to institutions and local food distributors and producers so that they can be more effective at local purchasing, working with local farmers, and selling to institutions. The toolkit will include a definition of local, sample contract language, farm-to-institution case studies, and a list of distributors that carry local products. In the coming year, the team will complete the toolkit and work with Sodexo to move local purchasing forward at one or more New Hampshire institutions of higher education, like Keene or Plymouth State. The Land Resources team is working to ensure that our agricultural lands are protected and accessible for producers. Specifically, the team is focused on creating innovative ways to leverage federal and municipal funds and new sources of public monies to secure agricultural easements. The team is also working to educate farmers and landowners about the benefits of protecting their lands with conservation easements. The team has worked with the New Hampshire Community Loan Fund to establish a bridge loan fund and is working with the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation to establish a dedicated fund for purchasing conservation easements. The group has also created a guide for peer-to-peer farmland easement workshops that New Hampshire Food Alliance partners and the New Hampshire Land Trust Coalition will help to organize and implement across the state. Through this work, the team has made significant connections with the land trust community. In 2018, the team will help to organize easement workshops across the state and will develop and implement an advocacy plan to ensure that the Agricultural Lands Program is funded in the 2018 budget cycle. The group will also assess other priorities identified by the Viability Working Group as the year progresses. While fisheries did not have a separate action team last year, in the fall of 2017, the New Hampshire Food Alliance convened a meeting for fisheries stakeholders, including New Hampshire Community Seafood, Sea Grant, New England Fishmongers, the Nature Conservancy, NAMA, and others. The group identified the following 3 priorities for collaboration: improving processing and storage, increasing consumer and retail demand for locally harvested fish, and helping to develop the next generation of fishers. Since the market development team is looking into a seacoast food hub, which would address improved storage and processing, and the education team is working on local food marketing. This group will focus on helping to support the next generation of fishers. Young fishermen and women need a voice. And this group will develop a Young Fishers Foundation for New Hampshire, Southern Maine, and Northern Massachusetts for fishers less than 40 years old to provide necessary training and educational assistance to ensure their success in this industry. The group is also exploring funding options to help young fishers pay for the necessary federal permits required for fishing. While there's a lot of exciting work happening with the action teams, there are many other ways to get involved with the Food Alliance. Fundamentally, the Food Alliance is about connecting those of us who work in the food system. There are many ways you can connect with others, contribute to our shared work, and reap the benefits of being involved. This past year, we hosted informal quarterly gatherings highlighting different farm and food businesses in different regions across the state. These gatherings have been a great way to connect with others and enjoy and celebrate diverse foods and beautiful places in New Hampshire. This winter, we started a monthly webinar series so that network partners can learn more about what everyone is up to around the state. Do you have an exciting project or success story to share? Resources you'd like the network to know about? The webinars are a great way to share information and ideas. We're trying to stay better connected on social media too. If you post on Facebook or Instagram, tag New Hampshire Food Alliance and we'll share it with the rest of the network. Thanks to all of you for being here today and for all of the work that you do to support the New Hampshire food system on a daily basis.